joint meeting with the town of Victor and town of Farmington, and we started at 6 o'clock, and that's why our here is a little bit late. At this time, I had no public hearings, so I'd call the meeting to order. And if everybody rise to the pledge of allegiance, and Senator Galhan, lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda tonight, and welcome, Senator Galhan, to our meeting. Thank you. Our approval of the minutes for our last meeting, July 13th.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Steve. Any additions, corrections? All in favor? Aye. Privilege of the floor or public concerns? Any privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody online? Privilege of the floor or public concerns? All right, reports of standing committees, Public Works.
Yeah, Public Works met this morning at our usual time here in the boardroom. Down at the wastewater treatment plant, they stayed real busy with the heavy rains, just assessing damage and some issues down at the treatment plant that caused. Just ongoing work on the fire inspection report. They've been gathering data from flow meters that we've had out in the system and coordinating that with our town engineer. We'll be working on a report back to us on that and looking to install those in some different locations out in the system this week. Maintenance on our UV system at the plant. They've been waiting on some wiper gel that has arrived, so hopefully that'll be wrapped up in the next couple of weeks. Waiting on some parts for our aerator system, our polygon unit, and also waiting on Seaward to do some diagnostic work on a couple of pumps from PS 26. Water main breaks. We've had an issue over on 332. Had another one over the weekend. Fortunately, they've been able to isolate that line for now. There's actually a resolution on later tonight to authorize us to do some emergency work to move that along to get that repaired. And we talked about the heavy rain. We had a sewer issue as well over on Collette Road. There's another resolution on tonight for emergency repair of that line as well. Right now, that's just being bypass pumped. So as soon as we get that taken care of better. And then working on some ongoing issues with the belt press system down the plant as well. There's also 2 other resolutions on the agenda. We can talk about those as they come up later. Highway and parks on the highway side. Equipment maintenance is always on the agenda. They did some milling on Collette Road. That should get paid early next week. Also been doing fiber mat in some of the northern subdivisions. Obviously, they were out fixing any damage from the storm. Roadside mowing is nonstop. And also they've been doing more work on the project over on Canandaigua Farmington Town Line Road. Parks, again, mowing is kind of at the top of the list. Been working on our trails some, and also repairing some playground equipment. He also reported we got one of our new trucks in, even though it's got to go back to get some items added that were missing to it that it should have had. And also waiting on a dump truck that we'll be down to report on if it showed up today or not. But that'll be coming in shortly and then heading to get outfitted for the winter. One resolution on the agenda, the final resolution for the playground equipment over at Beaver Creek Park and the mulch and all the stuff we need for that. So we can talk about that if there's any questions later in the agenda.
Thanks, Steve. Town operations.
Town operations met this morning. We've got 6 resolutions. 2 of them are dedications of highways over at Hathaway's Corner, all of Savannah Boulevard, and Quonset Valley Place. Beaver Creek update, the grass is growing on the ball fields. Both the courts have been paved. The basketball and the tennis courts have been paved. As Steve mentioned, the playground equipment has been ordered, selected ordered, and it should be installed later on this year. Delaware River Solar. There's a pending court decision. A new judge was appointed last Friday to hear the case and render a decision. We don't know when that date will be. Another matter is DRS has requested amendments to the decommissioning plan, which are under review, and we should take a look at that before the August 16th, 10th meeting. Let's see what else we got. Solar moratorium extension, there'll be a public hearing on Tuesday, August 10th. Regarding the local law to extend the public moratorium another 6 months while we await the court's decision. Exit 44, the demolition of the thruway, it's been a bit of a problem. The staff did contact the New York State Thruway Authority. No response, but I was on it last night around 10 o'clock, and it's a mess. I mean, several cars have blown out their tires. The sections of concrete are still just laying there with 2 cones, so you can possibly see it as you're approaching it. It could be a problem with somebody crashed into that. I think they should kind of do something about it. But you haven't heard anything since you called, so who knows what's going to happen with that. It is the state, right? Farmington Commons Plaza expansion, we're going to get a new credit union facility right next door to the Burger King restaurant, and the planning board will start the process for that next month. That's about it.
Thanks, Mike. Reports of other committees or town officials. Supervisor, as mentioned on the agenda, we did get our second quarter sales tax over $1 million, up significantly from last year, and it's still up 230,000 from 2019. So it was a welcomed amount of money to see for the town. We did get our first payment of the mortgage tax, which is paid twice a year, and that was 442,000. It's never been that high in the town's history. That was almost the total amount that I budgeted for this year. The federal ARPA funds did show up Wednesday or Thursday night. That comes in 2 payments, one this year, one next year. $703,995 and some change. So the board has discussed most of that money is going to go for water and sewer in the town, which we can't use it for highway. And we think the future federal infrastructure funds will, if it trickles down to the town of Farmington, maybe then we can use some for highway. But right now we use our BLT money there for our highway budget. That's all I have right now. Highway parks.
Just a couple of things. So we did get a second quote in this afternoon on our ADA, or not, our crosswalk signs, and the second quote is about half the cost of the first one that we were looking at. So that's promising. I'm still waiting on the third one there. Hopefully it comes in a little less yet, but the quotes are being spec'd directly from the spec sheet that we got from Fisher Associates. As was mentioned, College Road was initially scheduled to be paved tomorrow due to some 11th hour problems with the silo at Manchester. Asphalt became unavailable. In doing some phone calls with John in the village of Victor, as it turns out, he was going to use the paver Thursday and Monday, and he can get blacktop from Honey Eye where he hauls it from. So he and I switched tomorrow and Monday, and it's swapped around. So now we're scheduled for Monday on College Road.
Okay. Town clerk?
Let's see, I'm gonna officiate a wedding on Friday, and since that's board meeting, I'm taking 2 webinars. One was on records management, and the other one tomorrow is on retirement reporting. And that's it.
And just the assemblymen know the retirement reporting that the town clerk does versus what we do on payroll really has been
Awful,
a nightmare.
awful.
They say this new procedure that my clerk has to go through is more efficient. And well, maybe for them, but it's not for us. We've spent hours and hours. I've seen her on multiple times 2-hour phone calls going through this process. And then we found out it conflicts with her record keeping because the 2 agencies we're not
Or
talking.
the elected officials reporting. And then when you tell Marcy what days to send. Now they're saying, no, you don't have to report for them. They're saying, yes, I do. They're not talking to each other. At retirement, those two are not talking to each other. We talk to each other and we know what we're doing, but they don't. So yeah, it's been a mess.
It's been, that's the second complaint.
A lot of problems all the Jeff, I hear.
And the retirement reporting, it's been a nightmare. The new system is still not working correctly. And I know the last report, the clerk was on the phone for 4 hours. If she could get through, they had to call her back.
I
You
find
had that problem?
emailing was a little bit better and
Okay.
more on top of it, responding to me,
Okay.
correcting some of these. We had to go back 20 years, I think, for some of these officials. And it's like, just to go over the sheet, it's like, I don't know, where did you change the time on this? So all new, we had to change and do all the new reporting dates for them. It was just, I think, knock on wood, they're all caught up, just this newer issue, so.
So going back and re-reporting, are you seeing any reductions that they want to make in anyone's retirement service years?
Correct.
Are you seeing reductions that they want to make?
And some of them are rightfully yes. Because an elected official, once they take their office, the first 3 months is when they do their law.
Right.
So for the first 3 months, they're getting reported what they made in their prior term.
Mhm.
So now when we're telling them to switch, like I tell Marcy, okay, now it's 5 days, let's say.
Mhm.
She puts it in, well, those 3 months didn't get put in with that. So now we have to go change everything and do the correcting of them.
Mhm.
So it's just a mess. So yeah, because it more affects like the councilmen who their days they vary every 4 years
Right.
versus, mine or Peter's or Don's is always the same. So it's mainly the board members that are causing the issue.
I don't need any credit that makes it easier. They said I can't get any more
Correct.
credit than I currently get, so you just put me for 0.
Well, no, we tried that. He recertified, we marked that, sent it, and thought everything was fine. And then come to find out, they're like, oh, no, we didn't accept your resolution because he can't just recertify. You have to report the dates again. So I had to do a whole other resolution. I'm like, wait a minute, you just said, he just signs this thing saying he recertifies his time. But because the resolution I put recertify, they don't want that. They wanted the same days they were still going to be reported for him. So you had to do another resolution. It's a mess.
Efficiency of state governments.
That's right. That's right. Water and sewer, Robin.
Just to expand a little bit on the damage from the rainstorms. Sewer line over on Collette Road. Got a resolution on for emergency repair there. When that collapsed, actually, we have rocks all the way to the sewer treatment plant from there. So it's actually done some damage inside the plant.
Up to the street. And of course, water main breaks and sewer problems only happen after hours. It never happened during the workday.
Those federal funds come in, they go away. They have to be quick.
It's what Steve said. There's in public works this morning, there's plenty of places to spend that federal money. Building and zoning.
Busy as always. Just for everybody else in the town board, Myers is coming along. They're supposed to be doing foundation work this week for the new building, and they do have their demo permit issued for the pre-existing building. So we are making steady progress there. Following pretty closely with the schedule they provided. Same as highway, water, and sewer. We were a couple of us were out for the storms. Dean and myself, for stormwater issues and for fire department issues as far as building construction, water issues in buildings. Some issues that we turned over to Don with highway, and he got on those, and those have been addressed. Other than that, we're steady progression like always.
Thank you. Ron, Director of Planning and Development.
Yes, well, Assemblyman Gallahan will be sending you a letter here this week asking for support for the sidewalk tap grant that is due in Albany at the end of of September. I did speak with the Thruway Authority Dispatch in Albany on Friday as Assemblyman Holtz, Councilman Holtz. I got you. I got the phone.
For key attorney,
Don't
now
worry.
you're assemblyman.
No, whoever already gets next year.
And she said that somebody would get back to me. I had not heard from anybody. The Thruway, the only people that I've heard who have talked to the Thruway Authority has been the Region 4 office of DOT. And based on the conversation we've had with them, a lot of things of concern to us in Farmington weren't expressed to them as they undertook this demolition exercise. It's a nightmare in the making. You get off the I-90 on the 332, and there's nothing now to slow you down. It's a catastrophe waiting to happen. Would also like to make everybody aware here tonight that August 17th in this room and virtually there will be a presentation by the study consultants on the Route 96 332 sub-area studies. They've looked at various alternatives to preserving and protecting the corridor, the major corridors into the Ontario County. I'd also like to just clarify that the solar moratorium that we have scheduled a public hearing for at our next meeting on August 10th was sent to the county. However, it was not acted upon by the county because they could not sustain a quorum. And that we're free to go ahead and act because the 30 days will have expired. So I think that is an important consideration for this board. And finally, now that we know the dates of the 96 and 332 corridor study, we can plan a public information meeting in August for the comprehensive plan so that we can move forward with that, which is long overdue. So there's a lot of things going on in the development office. We continue to see new projects coming in, and Ed will elaborate on one coming up here at the next meeting. Turn it over to you.
Thanks, Ron. Ed?
Yeah, the next meeting, Farmington Commons, as Mike said, will be on there for both the preliminary subdivisions, which is a public hearing, and then the preliminary site plan. This will allow us to get seeker started and get moving on that. And I'm pretty sure there's a variance requirement in there also that has to go to the ZBA. Also, there is the expansion of the storage buildings over here off of Collet on the north side of Denny Drive, south of Collet. So those are the ones we're going to be talking about. We're going to see the concept on the Fowler 4-lot re-subdivision of Pheasants Crossing. And we'll discuss the solar legislation amendment as well. That's about it.
Thanks, Ed. Town engineer, I don't believe Bill's online because he had a family emergency. Is the town assessor online?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Michelle.
Can you hear me all right?
Very, very well. Yes.
Can you hear me all right?
Michelle, yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Hi, everybody. So we are just finishing up responding to the state's final assessment roll corrections report. We submitted the final roll to the county, and the county submitted it to the state. And this is the final report we should be getting from them, I believe, other than some folks who may have switched their star exemption to their star credit that we have to adjust. So the 2021 tax roll is almost complete. And we're working on gearing up for the 2022 revale, looking at the inventory, making some adjustments to get ready for that. We also have a few months worth of building permits to catch up on. So we are working on adding value for those home improvements, excuse me, or improvements to commercial property, and also maybe some demolitions or removals to detract value as well. So that's about it. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Michelle. Recreation, got 2 weeks left in our program. Been very successful. The weather is cooperative for the most part. I think they only had once where they had to have the kids, parents pick them up. We did have a couple of kids fall and break bones. One of them came back within like 2 days, and all wrapped up and still participating in recreation. So it does happen. Finance Committee, I added on here just for the record, people read our agendas. The town board did meet on July 20th. We reviewed our 6 months records up through June 30th of our finances for the town. We're in very good shape. We also discussed the video lottery terminal money that we receive every year and the allocation of that money from last year's money and the money we received this June. And we hope we'll get it again next year. Communications are on file, reports and minutes are on file. Resolutions. First one is a resolution authorizing the appointment of a working supervisor at a rate of $28.51 per hour, effective yesterday, July 25th. So, motion in a second. Again, this is for Josh at the water and sewer plant. He's been with us for quite a few years, and it's a well-deserved promotion for Josh Steidman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here's a resolution waiving the town park pavilion reservation fee for the Girl Scouts near Penn Pathway, and this date is October 3rd.
So, second.
Motion a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 is a resolution, Paula Rutherford, for successful completion of her probationary period. Paula was hired on October 13th, 2020, and this resolution gives her a 30-cent per hour wage increase to get her past probationary, and she took her test last Saturday, and hopefully she'll come off from the provisional status, also be accepted full-time in the town, which will get another small increase. All in favor? Motion, please. So,
Second.
motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 4 is a resolution regarding consent of the town board to dedicate a part of Sedala Boulevard and 2 parts of Berry Place and Hathaway's Corners subdivision, and this does require a roll call vote.
So, second.
Motion second.
Supervisor Anderson?
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman?
Aye.
Councilman Herron?
Aye.
Councilman Casale?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. Number 5 is a resolution recalling and amending resolution number 251, 2021, and to add accepting the sidewalk easements from Margaret Van Epps on Retention Road.
So,
Motion and a second. And this is another piece of the sidewalk and water easement on Retention Road. We did the water utility one, but we didn't catch the sidewalk easement last time. All in favor? Aye. 6 is a resolution in support of the 1816 Quaker Meeting House Museum for their 2021 consolidated funding application for environmental protection funds. So,
second.
motion and a second. Again, we've helped them with resolutions of support in the past. Ron, I think they're going for 400,000
And change.
ballpark. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
7 is a resolution authorizing the final release of the letter of credit for Redford Townhome Project in the amount of $12,146.
So,
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Eight's resolution authorizing the acceptance of donations from Cohen Ice, Dargo Light, 546 food truck, and K&T Kettle for our July 3rd celebration in the total amount of $470.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. These are our food vendors for the fireworks evening. All in favor? Aye. Ninth resolution authorizing 9, the resolution approving a change order GC5 for BLM contractors for the Beaver Creek Park restroom building.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. This basically closes out the restroom building portion of the Beaver Creek Park project, so we'll come along and we'll actually home. And then there's some things that need to be done, and of course, a lot of probably $500,000 worth of site work, yes, you have to do at Beaver Creek Park.
Just for the record, it's a decrease.
Yeah, this is a decrease in the change order. We don't get them every day. $1,093.53. All in favor? Aye. Tenth, authorizing the acceptance of a donation for the Power Cemetery Restoration Project in the total amount of $200.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Again, this was a Farmington resident who saw the article in the paper and donated $200. So it's greatly appreciated. We'll put it right in the historical property account. All in favor? Aye. 11 is a resolution authorizing budget amendments for the lighting district fund.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. We've got some bulb replacements in the Auburn Meadows district. I think there's 4 lights that we had to replace. All in favor? Aye. 12 resolution authorizing the Director of Development to prepare the 2021-2022 Transportation Alternative Program, commonly known as TAPS, Congestion Air Quality Improvement Program, CMAQ, grant application for implementing the construction of sidewalk trail connections shown on the town of Farmington Sidewalk Trail Master Plan map as part of our 2021 addition to the town of Farmington Comprehensive Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. And as Ron said, that's due September. Initial filing in August and final in September. All in favor? Aye. That could be up to $1 million worth, by the way, if we go for everything. We're shooting for a 25% grant, our share. 13 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of playground equipment for Beaver Creek Park at a cost not to exceed $66,000.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Again, we've already approved $80,000 worth of playground equipment. And this is for the swings, the wood around the area. The rubber mulch is like $27,000 just for the rubber mulch. So we're moving money into the account over and above the resolution for $66,000 for this current purchase. All in favor? Aye. 14 is resolution approving bid awards to Blair Supply and Core Main Supply for annual water and sewer parks.
Second.
Motion second. This is an annual parks bid that we do. I think last year we didn't do it because of COVID. We just bought as we needed. So one of the vendors, Core Main, has $66,000 of the bid, and Blair Supply has almost $11,000 of the total items that we asked everybody to bid on. And there was a third bidder also that was high bid on everything. All in favor? Aye. 15 is a resolution declaring an emergency condition that exists within the right of way of Collette Road between New York State through 332 and East Corporate Drive, directing a sewer line replacement within this area, and authorize engineering design, purchase of sewer pipe fixture and manholes. Motion in a second. I did send this late this afternoon to our town attorney, and he sent it back and revised it a little bit. And we filled in the blanks. One of the things he asked me for is, hey, did you catch the 2 spots in there in each resolution, fill in the blanks? Yeah, Marcia and I got it, we're all set. So the sewer one, that was a result of this July 17th rain event, where we got 3 to 5 inches of rain in town. And then basically the tops of that sewer pipe just collapsed. And we hammered it and thought we only had like a 400-foot problem. And then we went to the next manhole and like, oops. So this could be up to, what we said, 950 feet length of sewer line. We may have to replace along with 2 manholes. And that one we're going to contract out, because the next resolution is for 3,000 feet of water line, and town employees will do the majority of that work. So on this one here for the sewer, any questions? All in favor? Aye. 16 is a resolution declaring a public water line repair emergency along the east side of State Route 332 between State Route 96 and County Road 41, directing water line replacement within this area and authorizing engineering design, purchase of water pipe, hydrants, and fixtures.
Second.
Motion is second. It also includes in the design boring for under Beaver Creek Park. Again, approximately 3,300 feet, total, and our town highway crews can probably do about half of that before we really need some more engineering and boring like that. Any other questions? Water hose? No. All in favor? Aye. All right, 17 is an abstract to pay the bills. General fund, $60,872.28. Highway fund, $19,863.28. Beaver Creek Park, $100,594.50. Parks Building Capital Project, $434. Town Line Road Capital Project, $24,669.78. Storm Drainage, $1,981.75. Fire Protection District, $30,392.50. Lighting District, $1,888.57. Sewer District, $57,534.03. Water District, $16,183.82. Never see it that low again. Payroll deductions, $6,648.80. For a total abstract of $321,063.31. Have a motion, please.
Second.
Any comments, changes, any abstentions? I have to abstain from voucher 21-1281. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have training listed here for the water and sewer guys for the Fair Lakes Waterworks Conference coming up on August 12th. And is there anything else for discussion tonight? I have one more resolution and the objections for waiver of the rule. I have received late a letter. It came in here and dated the 13th of July, stamped in, and on the 14th of July, but did not get in the packets. And this is for Cub Scout Pack 50, doing a popsicle in the park event Monday, August 2nd. So we didn't act on it tonight. We missed our next board meeting. Or it'd be after our next board meeting would be after this event. It's from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at Pumpkinbrook Park. The park is reserved. And the letter is requesting us to waive the $25 reservation fee for the Cub Scout Pack 50.
Second.
Motion second. Any comments, questions?
I don't have any problem with waiving the fee. Do we know that there's not soccer there that night?
I don't know. It's through the pavilion.
I was gonna say, they rent the pavilion, they don't.
Well, no, I'm not worried about the field of the park.
You're gonna have a lot of things that have no hospitals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. We'll just warn them if there is soccer.
Cause like tonight it was, parking lot was full when I went by.
Yeah.
So,
Park on the top.
Yeah, they park in the grass as it is. We expanded the parking lot like 2 years ago. And we still not enough room there.
What was that date?
August 2nd.
5 to 7:30 is the time.
We'll make it work.
One last thing before we close out, any other public?
We vote on that?
Yeah, we have.
Sorry, I'm rushing it.
First and second.
It's cool.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And any other public concerns or comments? Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Aye.